10 Most Evil Actors of Hollywood's Golden Age.
Well now, I expect you're all wondering why I asked you here.
Get ready to be shocked. Hollywood, the city of stars, hides a darker truth. Glittering facades conceal stories of deceit and manipulation by actors we idolize. Prepare to have your views shattered as we unveil the 10 most notorious actors who've left a sinister legacy on the silver screen. Fasten your seatbelts for a wild ride into Hollywood's past. Number 1, Kirk Douglas.
So if I do intimidate people, I'll just try not to in the future.
This man was not just an attractive face. Raised in a chaotic environment, Douglas sought comfort in the spotlight. Amidst a tumultuous family life, his enthusiasm for acting was ignited during his high school years, where he found his passion for performing on stage and the intricate web of controversy that would follow him throughout his career. Douglas's personal life was as complicated as the characters he portrayed on screen. His relationships and alleged affairs depicted a man caught between being a hero and a villain. It was his over-the-top personality that established him as one of Hollywood's most infamous figures. Regrettably, there were reports of him mistreating Natalie Wood. It is claimed that 15-year-old Wood was invited to Douglas's room, where she supposedly spent several hours before being abruptly sent away and warned not to disclose what happened. Though not confirmed, this story became public after Douglas's death. As social media was flooded with tributes to Wood, Douglas was criticized as a degenerate. The truth is still unclear now that both are deceased. The complete narrative may never be revealed. Some believe it was a made-up story attributed to various actors over time. However, Douglas wasn't perfect. He openly admitted to being perhaps the most unpopular actor in Hollywood, attributing it to his difficult upbringing. Even his co-star Burt Lancaster jokingly commented on his challenging nature. Douglas also admitted to unfaithfulness and was known for his controlling behavior on set. He famously fired the director of Spartacus after just 1 week and tried to control Stanley Kubrick during Paths of Glory. Despite this, these films ultimately achieved greatness. Number 2, Mickey Rooney.
That's more better.
The way Rooney acted in real life was very different from the nice characters he played in movies. People called him blisteringly bombastic, abrasive, nasty, curt, and rude. His behavior wasn't good, especially for those who worked with him a lot. Even after they finished filming, he kept acting unprofessionally, which made it hard to work with him.
This time I'm warning you. I am definitely this time going to call in the police.
When they were making the movie National Velvet in 1944, people criticized how Rooney treated Elizabeth Taylor. There were stories that he used her unfairly and later said he didn't know her, calling her entitled and saying she wasn't talented. After Rooney died, more stories came out about how he was mean to many people he worked with. This showed that Rooney wasn't like the friendly characters he played in movies and that famous people from old Hollywood could be complicated. People criticized and disliked Rooney for many reasons: his rough behavior, self-centered attitude, and fights with people he worked with, directed, and fans. His personal life, filled with many marriages and divorces, money problems, and using too many substances, made his public image even worse. It was hard for Rooney to change from being a child actor to an adult actor, as some critics didn't think he could leave behind his young charm and be believable in more grown-up roles. Also, the way he played Asian characters, especially in Breakfast at Tiffany's, caused a lot of anger because it continued bad stereotypes and showed that he didn't understand or care about different races. Number 3, Faye Dunaway.
You know I love playing women who left their mark, who did everything.
In the dazzling world of Hollywood, where stars twinkle and dreams are woven, there exists a figure whose legacy is marked by stories of turmoil and contempt. Faye Dunaway, celebrated for her mesmerizing performances, also carved out a reputation as one of Hollywood's most difficult personalities. Reports circulated about Dunaway's sudden exit from the Broadway-bound play Tea at 5, accompanied by claims of physical confrontations and creating a hostile atmosphere. These rumors, it turned out, were true. A first-hand account from someone who worked with Dunaway on a project revealed a distressing event. Instead of simulating a slap during a scene, Dunaway allegedly hit this person across the cheek for real, highlighting the challenging environment on set. Broadway wig designer Paul Huntley, who collaborated with Dunaway in 1996, witnessed her erratic behavior. He remembered a time when Dunaway was unhappy with how hairpins were shown, which led to her hitting his assistant's hand. These stories give us a picture of a demanding and hard-to-please actress. Not only were there problems on set, but Dunaway's behavior away from the cameras also became part of Hollywood stories. The book, Easy Riders, Raging Bulls, says that while making Chinatown, Dunaway had strange habits like going to the bathroom in trash cans and not flushing toilets in her dressing room. The book also says that Dunaway once threw a cup of liquid, which was said to be urine, at director Roman Polanski when they disagreed. When asked about this, Dunaway said it was completely ridiculous and didn't want to talk about it.
It was an incredible moment, so I don't know what else to say about it.
Even actors who are known to be difficult were surprised by Dunaway's actions. James Woods, who acted with her in The Disappearance of Amy, told a story about her throwing something at him for making up a line. Even Bette Davis, who is famous for her strong personality, said Dunaway was one of the most challenging people in Hollywood when asked about it. Faye Dunaway's behavior on set and off camera has been described as erratic and difficult. Do you think her behavior was justified or not? Comment with yes or no. Number 4, Orson Welles.
But I've been investigated over and over again by the Americans,
Orson Welles, known for his innovative films like Citizen Kane, had a hidden, darker side. Conversations with his friend and director Henry Jaglom, recently found on old tapes, reveal a different side of the Hollywood star. In these private recordings, Welles was very open, calling Laurence Olivier dim-witted, Spencer Tracy vindictive, and Charlie Chaplin haughty. He also didn't like Bette Davis, saying he couldn't bear to watch her, and criticized James Stewart as not being a good actor. Even though Welles was very talented in movies, he had trouble with the movie studio's rules and often had money problems for his projects. Despite having limited resources, his determination led him to make films, and he stayed strong in his artistic vision. Welles's stories show how he worked with new talents like Marilyn Monroe, trying to support her before she became very famous. Even important people in Hollywood like Darryl Zanuck didn't think much of Monroe, thinking she was just an ordinary actress, something Welles saw a lot in Hollywood. He didn't like actresses like Bette Davis and Jennifer Jones, and his tapes had harsh words about their acting skills. He was very direct, saying Jennifer Jones was irredeemable and that he completely wrote off Bette Davis. Number 5, Errol Flynn. In 1909, Errol Flynn was born in Tasmania, and his childhood was far from typical. Growing up surrounded by the region's native animals like kangaroos and Tasmanian devils, Flynn's love for adventure began at a young age. However, he seemed to attract trouble wherever he went. At the age of 17, after being expelled from school, Flynn set off for New Guinea, where he tried his hand at various jobs, including diamond smuggling and pearl diving. It was in acting that he found his true passion. Eager to become famous, Flynn traveled to England, leaving behind a history of cunning schemes and daring adventures. His talent for trickery even got him into the Stratford-upon-Avon Festival. Seeing his potential, Warner Brothers quickly signed him up, starting Flynn's journey in Hollywood. During his time in the jungle, Flynn experienced a critical moment when he was involved in a terrifying ambush. Despite the turmoil, this event became the driving force behind his acting career. A film executive named Joel Schwartz saw Flynn's charisma and cast him as Fletcher Christian in the 1933 movie In the Wake of the Bounty. However, this marked just the start of his tumultuous path. In 1942, Flynn was accused of assault by young women, causing a media frenzy that damaged his reputation. Despite facing these challenges, Flynn's confidence remained strong even during the legal proceedings. In the end, he was acquitted, and Flynn's legacy represents both success and sorrow. His adventures, both on screen and off, established him as a Hollywood legend, but also exposed the darker aspects of fame and wealth. Number 6, Peter Sellers.
Well now, I expect you're all wondering why I asked you here.
In the classic comedies of Hollywood, Peter Sellers shone on screen as Inspector Clouseau in the Pink Panther series. However, behind the laughter and brilliance on screen was a troubled genius, making it difficult for director Blake Edwards to work with him. Peter was, to put it mildly, eccentric. He would talk to his deceased mother and carry a memorial for her wherever he went. Edwards, the creative mind behind the Pink Panther films, struggled with Sellers's unpredictable behavior. Sellers's mood swings and insecurities often clashed with Edwards's systematic approach, leading to chaos off camera. Sellers thought that his crazy antics were what made him creative, fearing that without such spontaneity the comedy would not be as good. His unorthodox methods often interrupted filming, leaving Edwards frustrated. There were times when they didn't speak to each other and communicated through their assistants instead. Despite their difficult relationship, their collaborations resulted in successful films at the box office, including 5 Pink Panther films and the 1968 classic The Party. On a scale of 0-5, how eccentric do you think Peter Sellers was? Comment with a number. Number 7, Milton Berle. This person was a trailblazer of his time, enchanting millions with his keen humor and irresistible charm. His weekly TV show became a cultural sensation, so impactful that businesses would stop working to make sure their customers didn't miss an episode. Every week, many viewers eagerly watched the crazy behavior of Uncle Milty. His fame reached such levels that at the height of his popularity, there were reports of fewer movie ticket sales and some places closing during his show to make sure people didn't miss any part of it. However, as time went on, Berle's star started to lose its shine. In a daring move, he was chosen to host Saturday Night Live, a decision that the show's creator, Lorne Michaels, was doubtful about. Even though people were unsure at first, Berle became the main act, but it turned out to be a disaster. He acted too much and didn't want to follow instructions, which surprised the people working with him. Kara Kovalich said he was one of the most challenging hosts because he always wanted to be in front of the camera and tried to control everything, which made a very bad SNL episode. After his not-so-good appearance on SNL, people started talking about how Berle was arrogant and thought he was very important. Even though he was one of the first big stars on TV, he didn't always behave well behind the scenes. Number 8, Wallace Beery. Even though people thought Wallace Beery was a kind person because of what the movie studios said, the truth was very different, as told by other actors and the people who worked with him. Unlike the nice person he played in movies, Beery was not nice to the people he worked with, especially young actors. There were stories about him being mean and even hurting young actors like Mickey Rooney, which showed a not-so-nice side of Hollywood's golden age. Even though Mickey Rooney was treated badly by Beery, he still liked him, which shows that their relationship was complicated. Rooney's feelings help us understand what it was like to work with Beery. At the same time, Gloria Swanson's first meeting with Beery shows the uncomfortable power relationships in Hollywood. Even though they were very different ages and Swanson didn't feel good about it, Beery had a big effect on how they talked to each other. Wallace Beery's behavior when he wasn't acting was very different from the fancy Hollywood life, and he wasn't nice-looking or friendly, even to the people who were close to him. Swanson's dislike shows the big difference between how Beery seemed in public and who he really was in private. Number 9, Bing Crosby. The actor is not only famous for his legendary voice and timeless classics like White Christmas, he's also a figure shrouded in mystery and controversy, especially regarding his family life. At first glance, Bing Crosby seemed to represent charm and charisma. However, behind the scenes, his relationship with his children tells a different story. Bing led a busy life balancing movies, radio shows, and music commitments. His son, Gary Crosby, once revealed how Bing was rarely there during their childhood. Bing was afraid that his children would fall into the typical Hollywood lifestyle, further alienating them. His obsession with protecting them from the allure of Tinseltown ultimately strained their relationship. It wasn't until his second marriage that Bing seemed to re-evaluate his role as a father, but he still had trouble showing his feelings. Even though Bing Crosby was a famous person, his personal life had flaws. The sad death of his son Lindsay and his problems with drinking showed the darker side of being famous. Bing Crosby always seemed strong and quiet. Even when he was on a golf course in 1977, as Nathaniel Crosby remembered, Bing was quiet and cared more about playing a good game of golf than showing his emotions. Number 10, Henry Fonda. For over 50 years, Henry Fonda was loved by people as the perfect example of American goodness in movies. From showing the life of a poor worker in The Grapes of Wrath to his interesting part in 12 Angry Men, Fonda was like the nice, normal person from Hollywood. But behind the image of the all-American hero was a sad and worried private life, shown in a new book. The writer Darwin Porter tells us about the secret side of Fonda's life away from acting, showing him as a not-so-good husband and dad. Unlike what people thought, Fonda only thought about himself, didn't like showing feelings, and wasn't as nice as he seemed in movies. The book also tells us that Fonda cheated in 4 out of his 5 marriages. Yes, you read that right. Henry Fonda, who seemed to have old-fashioned American values on screen, lived a life that was very different from those values. Fonda's personal life included many relationships with famous actresses like Joan Crawford, Marlene Dietrich, and Barbara Stanwyck. His long-lasting love for Lucille Ball was thought to be the best part of his love life, but he still cheated during most of his marriages. Even though he seemed like a loving father in movies, Fonda's kids, Jane and Peter, often felt ignored by him, starting with a rough time with actress Margaret Sullivan, who didn't like how he was in private, to later problems in his marriages and affairs that led to divorces. Fonda's personal life was not like a happy Hollywood story. Sullivan's problems with her mind and her sad end also made Fonda's relationship seem even sadder. We've explored the darker sides of Hollywood's golden age actors. Remember, fame isn't all glitz and glamour. It's about resilience and character. What life lessons can we learn from these stories? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more intriguing tales. See you next time on Iconic Inside. Co-stars who hated each other off camera. Get ready to step behind the curtain of Hollywood's most famous friendships. Or are they? You won't believe which co-stars couldn't stand each other off camera. From on-screen chemistry that sizzles to real-life feuds that fizzle, we're diving into the shocking truths of Tinseltown. Prepare for some jaw-dropping revelations. But first, are you ready to have your perceptions shattered? Stick around to find out which iconic duos were just acting all along. 1. Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes, Romeo plus Juliet. In the film Romeo plus Juliet, directed by Baz Luhrmann, Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes played the famous star-crossed lovers, but their off-screen relationship was far from the romantic connection they portrayed on screen. DiCaprio, recognized for his mischievous pranks on set, often annoyed Danes with his antics, which she considered unprofessional. She once expressed her frustration, saying, "I was ready to drink the poison whenever I was around him," indicating her irritation with his immature behavior. Danes found DiCaprio's constant joking to be unprofessional, while he thought she was too uptight. This difference in their personalities resulted in very little interaction between them when they were not filming. Their contrasting attitudes were evident as Danes grew tired of DiCaprio's pranks, and DiCaprio seemed to dismiss her serious approach to work. In a curious twist, Danes declined the lead role in Titanic, a decision that some believe may have been to avoid working with DiCaprio again. She later explained her choice by saying, "I just made this romantic epic with Leo, I just didn't have it in me," hinting that her experience with Romeo plus Juliet made her reluctant to take on another project with him. Despite their personal disagreements, both actors have complimented each other's skills in public. Danes admitted to having had an initial crush on DiCaprio, which she described as problematic due to their professional relationship. She stated, "I couldn't really have a crush on the guy I was professionally having a crush on." This complexity in their dynamic shows how the chemistry seen on screen can sometimes conceal the real tensions between actors, making their performances even more impressive. 2. Kevin Smith and Bruce Willis, Cop Out. Kevin Smith, the director known for his work on films like Clerks and Chasing Amy, was excited to collaborate with his idol Bruce Willis on the 2010 film Cop Out. Smith had been a fan of Willis since his days on the TV show Moonlighting, and he felt like a starstruck child when working with him. He said, "I wasn't the 38-year-old Kevin Smith who had directed a bunch of movies. I was the 12-year-old who would lay on my parents' couch and watch David Addison on Moonlighting." However, Smith's enthusiasm was short-lived as he faced challenges with Willis on set. Willis consistently ignored Smith's directions, asserting his own understanding of his character. He told Smith, "I've been acting like Bruce Willis for 25 years. Do you really think there's anything you're going to tell me that I don't know?" This led to escalating tensions, culminating in Willis threatening Smith and the director punching walls in frustration. The situation worsened when Willis missed the wrap party and Smith publicly excluded him from his thanks to the crew. Willis later downplayed Smith's grievances, calling him a whiner and mentioning their differing work approaches. Smith felt unsupported and expressed that he would not have cared if Willis had fired him from the project. In later years, Smith's feelings softened after Willis retired from acting due to aphasia, a condition that affects language. Smith tweeted, "Long before any of the cop-out stuff, I was a big Bruce Willis fan, so this is really heartbreaking to read. He loved to act and sing, and the loss of that has to be devastating for him. I feel like an asshole for my petty complaints from 2010. This shows that despite their very public falling out, Smith felt genuine sorrow for Willis and regretted his earlier complaints. highlighting the bittersweet nature of what was meant to be a dream collaboration. Do you think Kevin Smith was justified in publicly criticizing Bruce Willis? Comment yes if you agree, or no if you don't. 3. Sylvester Stallone and Richard Gere, the Lords of Flatbush. Sylvester Stallone and Richard Gere's feud dates back to the early 1970s when they worked together on the film The Lords of Flatbush. Stallone has been vocal about his disdain for Gere's behavior on set, saying he acted like the baddest knight at the round table due to his oversized motorcycle jacket. The situation worsened during a lunch break when a chicken incident led to Stallone physically reacting to Gere's carelessness, which resulted in Gere being dismissed from the film. Stallone explained, "The director had to make a choice. One of us had to go, one of us had to stay. Richard was given his walking papers and to this day seriously dislikes me." Their animosity continued beyond the film set. At a dinner party hosted by Elton John, the tension between Stallone and Gere resurfaced over their mutual connection, Princess Diana. Elton John described in his memoir the atmosphere becoming tense as Gere and Diana seemed to be getting close, leading to Stallone leaving the party angrily, saying, "I never would have come if I'd known Prince Charming was gonna be here." This event further deepened their enmity, with Stallone maintaining his resentment towards Gere. The feud between these two Hollywood icons remains a significant part of their histories, showing that some rivalries in the entertainment industry can last long after the cameras have stopped rolling. Stallone's ongoing disdain for Gere is a testament to the longevity of their conflict. As he once said, "Richard was given his walking papers, and to this day seriously dislikes me," suggesting that the hostility between them is far from being resolved. 4. Ariana Grande and Jeanette McCurdy, Sam and Cat. In her memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, Jeanette McCurdy details the strained relationship she had with Ariana Grande during their time working together on the Nickelodeon show Sam and Cat. McCurdy, who played Sam Puckett, felt resentment towards Grande, who portrayed Cat Valentine, due to what she perceived as preferential treatment and Grande's growing success as a pop musician. McCurdy's frustrations escalated when Grande frequently missed filming to focus on her singing career, while McCurdy had to decline other opportunities because the show's team would not work around her schedule. She recounted an instance where Grande was absent for a week, leading to the script being adjusted to have her character locked in a box, which McCurdy found absurd and unfair. The actress also felt bitter about Grande's privileged background and quick rise to fame, in contrast to her own career trajectory. McCurdy expressed this sentiment in her memoir, highlighting the disparity between Grande's numerous accolades and her own less glamorous achievements, such as being the face of a tween clothing line. When Sam and Cat was cancelled in 2014 after just one season, Grande posted a thank you message to Nickelodeon and her fans on Facebook, but did not acknowledge McCurdy. McCurdy's book indicates that her dislike for Grande was not reciprocated, as she admitted, "I didn't like her. I couldn't like her." The final straw for McCurdy was when Grande shared an exciting story about spending an evening playing charades at Tom Hanks's house, which made McCurdy feel that every time Grande missed work, it was a personal affront to her. 5. Will Smith and Janet Hubert, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The long-standing feud between Will Smith and Janet Hubert, who portrayed Aunt Viv in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, spanned nearly 30 years and was characterized by deep animosity. Hubert believed Smith, then a young actor, was undeserving of his success and felt marginalized on set, as she expressed by saying, "You're the big star, you know. I was just the little black." Smith, on the other hand, found Hubert difficult to work with, perceiving her as demanding. Their disagreements worsened during the third season when Hubert was pregnant and enduring personal issues, including an abusive marriage. Hubert disclosed that she was offered a reduced salary for the fourth season, which she declined due to her financial situation, leading to her departure from the show. She was replaced by Daphne Maxwell Reid, a decision Hubert believed was influenced by Smith, who she claimed had sabotaged her career. Post-exit, Hubert openly criticized Smith, calling him an egomaniac and accusing him of destroying her 20-year career with falsehoods. She emphasized the severe impact of being labeled difficult in Hollywood, especially for a black woman, stating, "I lost everything, reputation, everything. However, in a 2020 reunion special, they reconciled. Smith recognized his past insensitivity and admitted, "I wasn't perceptive," expressing remorse for the pain he had caused. Hubert also re-evaluated her previous resentment, saying, "I felt it was necessary for us to finally move forward." This emotional reconciliation marked a significant milestone in their relationship, enabling both to move beyond the past's hurt. On a scale of 0-5, how much do you blame Will Smith for the tension on set? Comment with a number. 6. Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey, American Idol. The feud between Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey during their tenure as judges on Season 12 of American Idol was highly publicized and began even before the show started filming. The two music icons, both known for their strong personalities, immediately clashed on set. A leaked TMZ video captured Minaj yelling at Carey during auditions in Charlotte, North Carolina, where she said, "I told them I'm not putting up with her highness over there." Carey retaliated by calling Minaj a crazy b***. The tension between them also spilled off camera. TMZ sources reported that Minaj allegedly threatened Carey with physical violence before filming began, although Minaj's representative denied these allegations. Both artists accused each other of dishonesty and unprofessional behavior. In an interview, Carey described working with Minaj as going to work in hell with Satan. The judges' conflicting personalities were apparent during the show's airing as well. During one audition, Minaj and Keith Urban discussed a contestant's country thing, with Carey siding with Urban. Minaj then criticized Carey and Randy Jackson for being overly critical of the singer, leading to another heated argument. The feud between Minaj and Carey dominated the season, causing the show's ratings to drop significantly. Both left American Idol after just one season, with Carey describing it as the worst experience of her life. Minaj shared a similar sentiment, claiming that the producers had intentionally set the two female judges against each other to create drama. Ultimately, the Nicki Minaj-Mariah Carey feud on American Idol was a result of two determined artists with contrasting personalities and judging approaches. Their on-air disputes and alleged off-camera threats contributed to a tense and uncomfortable atmosphere for everyone involved. 7. Drake Bell and Josh Peck, Drake and Josh. Drake Bell and Josh Peck, known for their roles as stepbrothers on the Nickelodeon series Drake and Josh from 2004 to 2007, have experienced a complex relationship off-camera. In a recent interview, Peck admitted that their off-screen connection did not mirror their on-screen chemistry. He explained, "We were kids, right? Obviously there were times when we were closer than not, but when inevitably the show ended, we're just totally different kids." Peck described their friendship as distinct, comparing it to the contrast between Billy Joel's Uptown Girl and the different music tastes of New York and Orange County. The gap in their relationship became evident in 2017 when Peck married without inviting Bell. Bell expressed his disappointment on Twitter, stating, "When you're not invited to the wedding, the message is clear. Loyalty is key, always remember where you came from." However, Bell later clarified on TikTok that Peck had reached out to him, saying, "I just want you guys to know that he has reached out to me, and it's been very sensitive, but he has reached out to talk with me and help me work through this and has been really, really great." And some suggest that Peck's distance from Bell might be related to Bell's legal issues. In 2021, Bell pleaded guilty to charges of attempted child endangerment and disseminating matter harmful to juveniles. Despite these challenges, Bell still values their friendship, saying, "I would always be there for him and I know that he would be the same." However, the two former co-stars are currently not on speaking terms, with Peck stating not really no when asked if they are still friends. 8. Adam Savage and Jamie Hyneman, Mythbusters. Adam Savage and Jamie Hyneman, the well-known pair from the popular TV series Mythbusters, have been candid about their lack of a close personal friendship off-camera. Even after collaborating for 14 seasons, their dynamic was based on mutual respect and tolerance, rather than a deep friendship. Hyneman candidly remarked, "We like to point out we've known each other for 25 years and never once sat down to have dinner alone together. We sort of managed to tolerate each other." The two hosts often disagreed on set, with Savage admitting, "We're not afraid to say something that will hurt the other's feelings because we don't care." However, they agreed that their debates were beneficial, as the right idea always wins. It doesn't matter whose it is. Hyneman added, "We get on each other's nerves and everything all the time, but whenever that happens, we say so, and we deal with it and move on." Despite their sometimes challenging relationship, Savage and Hyneman took pride in their unique and successful partnership. Hyneman believed their differing personalities and perspectives allowed them to work effectively together, saying, "If you're like me, then what's the use of you? I need someone different to work with." Savage also recognized the importance of their complementary roles, referring to their yin and yang setup as crucial to the show's success. Although Savage and Hyneman seldom socialized outside of work, they had a profound respect for each other's expertise and contributions to the series. Hyneman recognized the importance of his co-host's passion, stating, "For somebody who truly is interested in design and engineering, it's frustrating. I'm like a racehorse attached to a freight wagon." In the end, their distinctive collaboration, founded on mutual respect and a shared enthusiasm for science, resulted in a pioneering show that engaged viewers for more than 10 years. There's no denying the magic of on-screen chemistry, but what happens when the cameras stop rolling? We've explored some iconic co-stars whose off-camera relationships were far from friendly. But tell us, which duo do you think had the toughest time getting along? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and while you're at it, give us a like, subscribe to Iconic Inside, and hit that notification bell for more behind-the-scenes scoop. Don't forget to engage with our community. Your input is what makes our conversations iconic.